not that I took my life for granted, but I've always been just uber healthy, and kind of thought, I guess in a sense, I was kind of like John Wayne, you know, nothing could touch me. And then one day I got kind of a little shocked. I had some skin cancer around my right eye. And I had it cut off, and the doctor said, no problem. And then he asked me, he says, do you use a cell phone? And I said, well, yeah, I've been using one for about 17 years. And especially that, you know, when the flip phones came out, it was the back side of the phone was right against my right temple here, actually behind the eye. And he said, you might want to keep an eye on that eye, no pun intended. And I said, why? And he just said, well, low-level long-term radiation can have effects on, you know, capillaries and small blood vessels, and the back of your eye is right there. I thought, okay, fine, kind of took it for granted. But the funny thing is, about 6 months later, I started having aches in my eyes, and I was getting blurry vision just with my right eye. So I went to Minnesota eye consultants, and they were in shock because I had glaucoma. I mean, the pressure was like 42, and they were like, what are we going to do? And so they put a needle in it to alleviate the pressure. And then they looked inside after the pressure got down to a more normalized state and said I had bleeding blood vessels in there as well as a cataract in my right eye. But the left eye was perfect. So after going, then sent to a retina specialist, and I had to take all kinds of needles and injections into the eye to try to heal the blood vessel. And with electronic instruments and things that I was using at the time before Lightwave, it helped and got me about halfway back, but we could never really get the blood vessel thing taken care of. And then I get introduced, thank you, Geraldine, to the X39 patch. And after 8 days on the patch, I got the biggest shock of my life. I'm in the vitreoretinal clinic in Edina, Minnesota, and they, you know, take an instrument and they look inside your eye with a camera. And I didn't know what the results were going to be. But then they put me in another room, and then the doctor comes in this other room. I'm sitting in the chair, and I turn and I look up at the screen, and I see these two images, like before and after. And the doctor looks at it, you know, from before Lightwave back, you know, a few months before, and you could see where there was an edema, where the blood vessels had kind of opened up and were not good. And then here's the one after 8 days on Lightwave, X39, and they're perfectly healed. And my vision is improved. And he says to the nurse, her name is Tori, he says, nurse, I'd like to ask you, would you please put Mr. Barber's scans up on the screen? And she said, they are up on the screen, doctor. And what the doctor didn't know is I had just told before I came into the doctor area that I was trying this new stem cell activation patch, and that stem cells, you know, might help us all. Well, she just smirked and smiled after he left the room, but he was like, this is remarkable. I've never seen this before. And I just smiled, and then, you know, well, I'll see you here in a few months, doc, if you want to check me again. Walked out of there. And not only just my eye, the improvement of that, and I'm going to go back in on August 11th and get another, they'll take another picture on it. I know it's going to be good because my vision is holding really, really good. The cataract condition now is improved, where instead of being all white and kind of cloudy, I can see longer distances now. I mean, significantly longer distances with sharpness. So something's going on there as well. I don't know what it is, but I'm liking it. Another thing I've noticed is that when I sleep at night, I go into such deep REM sleep that, I mean, I'm going into this just dream and another dream and another dream. And then finally I wake up, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I get deep sleep. I roll over out of bed, put my feet on the floor, and do a complete, you know, stretch up to the ceiling and down. And I mean, it's just like, I know my day is going to be perfect from that time on. It's kind of like being in a Zen state, and go in, take a shower, and I'm just like floating in bliss. And so I've noticed that difference. And then also I'm into bicycling again. And I recently bought my 34-year-old daughter, who's a medical doctor at Mayo's in Rochester. And she can't even begin to keep up with me now. So, you know, from that too, it's just, I'm seeing these benefits all the way around. And people are looking at me and saying, you know, wow, you're so active. You're almost 65 and you can do this. I said, yeah. And that's where the sharing gets in. I just, you know, you pull back to your neck like that and said, this is all I do is put one on take it off after 12 hours, put one on, take one off. And for me, the heartfelt benefit as I'm going into the next 35 years of my life is that, what is my purpose? Why am I here? I mean, we're all on this planet together. And for me, I believe that my mission, my whole purpose is to honor, bless, and support those around me so their creative genius can come out, so their hearts can open up. And if we can remove fear and worry and, people are in a better state of mind and their health is, going in a positive direction as compared to the old-fashioned negative situation, we really made a big difference in this world. And that's what I'm really excited about.